Morning. In addition to the 3 to 5 minute deep dives or down the rabbit holes we'll be exploring on our channel, here at Hunter Family Farms, we're working diligently to be able to take the knowledge we've gained by working on or with 100 farms across the United States to be able to channel that information and capability on our land. And then, as events or lessons organically occur, be able to share those items back with you to your farm.
2 weeks ago, the first of these organic events happened with the purchase and introduction of 2 new calves to our holding. Now, we knew the family we purchased them from and the conditions they lived in. Regardless, we followed the same protocols we have for the last 15 years. Now, my wife has degrees and experience in landscape and floral design, botany, and plant science, and I have been her willing lackey for 20 plus years in the engagement and collection and propagation of exotic plants, seeds, and some animals from all over the place. Unfortunately, my military term of service meant that some of these plants didn't survive the moves or upsets involved in that line of work. Despite this, though, we still have dozens of flowering and fruiting plants that wouldn't survive in the places we have lived. But about 15 years ago, we had an avoidable, tragic event. You see, a friend of ours was moving overseas and gave us a small coconut tree, which we graciously accepted because we always wanted one. It was about 2.5 feet tall and looked really good on cursory inspection. And we almost immediately moved it in with our other tropical plants due to available space and small children wanting to touch everything. Unfortunately for us, the coconut tree had some insect and fungal issues we didn't identify, which ultimately led to the death of the coconut tree and 2 of our medium-sized pineapple plants that were about ready to start pushing their first fruits.
So in response to that event, we began to implement certain protocols on our properties to be able to safeguard against repeat. And there's 3 of them. One, when as much as possible, acquire from reputable sources. Though, of course, great deals are going to pop up and you're going to want to take advantage of those whenever possible. Regardless of where you get it, thoroughly inspect the organism, the plant, the animal. You're looking for stress indicators. You're looking for evidence of disease and evidence of parasites or some other kind of fungus that's going to be on those organisms. And then select those that are the healthiest for your purchase. 2, you're going to isolate them as much as possible from any other like-minded or type organisms. You're going to give them clean bedding and circumstances and ideal conditions for growth, and you're going to isolate them so that you're going to minimize the chance for cross-contamination if something pops up. And then 3, you're going to quarantine these organisms for a minimum of 2 weeks. During that process, continuously inspecting them for problems to get ahead of anything that might happen. And that's exactly what we did with these 2 guys. We brought them here, we isolated them, gave them their own stall with fresh straw, cleaned out the water and the food area so that they got their own stuff, put them in ideal conditions, isolated for 2 weeks, inspected them almost every single day. And 2 weeks later, we cracked it open, and now they're managing the pecking order inside of our farmyard, where Nova here seems to claim that he's the biggest and top dog. Yeah, like you too, buddy. And they're healthy and strong. Since we've implemented this process, we haven't lost any of our existing stock or plants to disease or blight. And we've had a few occasions where this particular process, if we hadn't done it, it would have ended up in some kind of disease or blight. So by bringing that new plant in, disease popped up, we eliminated it, and it didn't spread or cause additional damage. We're going to engage in these protocols again in about 3 to 4 weeks when our spring plants arrive. So until then, stay curious. Keep your eyes open. My name's Devin Little. And join us next time on Down the Rabbit Hole with 100 Family Farms.